Sydney Barker, the 9-hitter for OU, leads off the 6th against Marissa McCann. Crowd today smaller than the record, more than 4,100 yesterday, but enough to add up the weekend total to 10,229, which is the most fans ever to see a regular season weekend series in Columbia. The only series that's ever beaten it was the 2024 Super Regional against Duke. More than 11,600 combined saw those 3 games.
A little chillier today, maybe led to a smaller crowd than yesterday. Yesterday, gorgeous day, great fan support out there, and Mizzou delivered for their fan base that showed up for them.
Yeah, I think you could make the argument that almost 3,000 today is in some ways similarly or even more impressive than more than 4,000 yesterday. Because it is not softball weather the way it was.
Lots of coats out there today.
2-2 on Barker. She popped up in foul ground to the third baseman Daly back in the 3rd inning. McCann's 2-2. 5th strikeout for Marissa McCann. Off the outside corner, ball 1 to Abigail Dayton. Begins the 3rd time through the lineup for Marissa McCann. There is double barrel action in the Missouri bullpen. It's just such a tightrope for Larissa Anderson to walk. Has said that she wants to be more proactive with her pitching changes. Try to switch things up preemptively on hitters. And she has a couple of switch up options out there. Right-hander Sierra Harrison, left-hander Taylor Pinnell, who combined for the 7 innings of 1-run ball Missouri got yesterday.
Well, we saw yesterday Coach Anderson really had a quick hook with Harrison, who was throwing well, but was going deep into counts, and her pitch count was getting up there. She went to Pinnell really early and didn't even let Harrison get into trouble at all. And Pinnell came in her closer duties, just started him a little bit earlier in the game.
2-1 on Dayton. She has flied out to center and struck out looking. Only 2 base runners for Oklahoma against McCann. A 2nd inning Sanders walk, a 4th inning McEnroe Marinas homer. Low and it's full on Dayton. Keep in mind, Dayton has 11 stolen bases this year, so not at all somebody McCann would want to put on for free. And that's not for free, but it'll work. Single up the middle. Just Oklahoma's 2nd hit in 18 at-bats as a team today. And it puts the potential go-ahead run on base in front of Nellie McEnroe Marinas, who has 3 home runs this weekend, including the big blow for the Sooners in this one.
Dayton had a great at-bat there when she was able to drive that ball right back up the middle. She fouled off a couple tough pitches from McCann. Coach Anderson now going to go out and talk to her pitcher and her defense, really, just kind of settle everybody down late in the game. Top of the 6th inning, tie ball game against the #1 team in the nation.
Patty Gasso, of course, was flashing signs for the third base coaching box, but it would be a pretty big surprise to see much of anything. I mean, certainly you're not going to ask McEnroe Marinas to bunt with the series that she's had, and you'd think you'd be hesitant even to try to steal second base with Dayton, because first base is scoring position for McEnroe Marinas as it's going right now.
With how much pop she has in her bat, even, a double, Dayton has a lot of speed, so even on a double, she can score from first pretty easily.
Nellie McEnroe Marinas to hit, Cassidy Pickering on deck. McEnroe Marinas has popped up to second and homered. She is 4 out of 8 with 3 home runs this weekend. She pops it up. Up to Grove, fighting the sun, has the catch. She was on her way over to touch second just in case.
Just in case. That ball was sky high. The sun, a little dangerous out there for the infielders, but Up to Grove does a great job making that catch, but she was giving herself a little bit of insurance just by making sure she was close to second base if she had to be.
For you, what was the worst or most difficult type of sky to deal with on fly balls? Is it no clouds and really bright? Is it really cloudy and low?
No clouds and really bright, especially when, you know, that ball gets really high up in the air. It's really hard to track. Not necessarily hard to see, it's just hard to track that fly ball.
Missouri crowd thought that should have been strike one. But it's 1 ball, no strikes on Cassidy Pickering. Dayton at first, 2 down. The emotions of these kind of moments in the circle must be so difficult to manage. On the one hand, there's such the relief for her of getting through McEnroe Marinas, who has been so difficult for Missouri's entire pitching staff this weekend, not least Marissa McCann herself. But on the other hand, Cassidy Pickering's pretty darn good.
Well, that's really the difference in SEC play against all of the rest of your non-conference games. You can't take a pitch off. You can't take a batter off. It doesn't really matter if you're going to get through one of their best hitters. You still have to come back because at any point with this Oklahoma offense, they can put the ball out of the park. Set up out there, and McCann hit her glove.
Pickering, center field, Oklahoma on top. After 2 strikeouts and as many at-bats, Cassidy Pickering takes a 2-2 pitch out to center, and the Sooners lead 3-1.
Great at-bat by Pickering after striking out twice and really looking very...
Was trailing 3-1 after the Pickering blast. A 2-out, 2-run, 6th-inning home run by Cassidy Pickering. Oklahoma's 5th home run, should say 6th home run of the weekend. They've accounted for all 12 of the Sooners' homers in the series, of their runs in the series, and they take a 3-1 lead. Missouri down to its finalist 6 outs, but Taylor Pinnell is tasked with just trying to keep the deficit at 2, working against Gabby Garcia. She has grounded out twice to Smith at second and to Walker on a rocket bouncer in the 4th. Just off the outside, 1-1. Anybody's guess out there in this inning.
Seen a little bit of a moving strike zone, floating.
I guess Pickering might be thankful for that 2-1 pitch that was way outside, getting called a strike, because all's well that ends well. Who knows what pitch she would have gotten on 3-1. Missouri might have said, forget it. We'll just not give her anything too good, move on to a fresh count.
Well, and really the ball that McCann threw was up and out of the zone that Pickering swung at to get that home run.
Roller up first, awkward Pinnell, nice backhand shovel to beat Garcia and retire the side. Pickering's 2-run homer gives Oklahoma the lead. Missouri coming back up, and Pickering will remain in right. Or I should say will move from left to right and take the spot previously occupied by Sydney Barker. Core is the substitution in for Barker. And she moves into center, causing the shuffling of the corner outfielders. Sam Landry back to work.
Now that OU has the lead, Coach Gasso trying to do everything she can to make sure that they keep that lead, right? So defensively becomes a lot more important than your offense at the moment.
Well, it shows you how much he values it, too, because Barker's spot, the number 5 slot in the lineup, would be scheduled to lead off in the top of the 7th inning. Ordinarily, coaches make those changes when that spot made the last out or the second to last out. You're going to be able to get 2 defensive innings without having to have that spot come up again, potentially. 1-2 pitch to Walker. Very late, but stays alive. Walker is struck out and flied out to rather deep right field.
This is definitely the most pitches that Walker has seen in an at-bat against Landry today. She's been very aggressive in the box. First, second pitch swinging. She's going a little bit deeper in the count here, fouling off some good pitches from Landry.
Chop slowly toward third. Tricky play. McEnroe Marinas beats Walker by a step.
McEnroe Marinas calls up.
Has been excellent for Oklahoma the entire weekend long. Here's Cara Daly. Daly rips it to short, but it's speared by Garcia.
Nearly took Garcia's glove off there. That ball was absolutely smoked, just right at her. Sometimes it's going to happen in softball, right? You're going to have a really great hit, and you're going to get out, and then the next time you're going to just kind of fling one over the infielder and get a base hit. But
well, Daly's seen both in this game. She had the soft little chopper toward third for the infield hit earlier, and now a line out. So 2 out, and Taylor Ebbs will bat. Ground out to third and a strikeout on her card today. Missouri struck first today, just as the Tigers did yesterday, which is rare for Oklahoma. They score the first run the significant majority of the time, 2/3 of their 30 games now this year. Runs inside, and it hit Ebbs, and she got her bat out of the way in time. The Oklahoma dugout is saying that the bat might have still been out there, that she was offering of the pitch. She certainly did initially. Generally speaking, one of those borderline calls in which the home plate umpire might have made the decision based part on what he heard is rarely overturned one way or the other on replay. So Missouri's going to pinch run Danielle Blackston for Ebbs at first base.
it's an interesting play by Ebbs. I don't necessarily think of her as someone who's going to try and bunt for a hit, especially with 2 outs. She's got a lot of pop to her bat. I think of her more as a home run, a power hitter. So interesting to see her trying to bunt for a hit there.
Missouri has had runners on in most innings. Sam Landry's been able to work around them. Just the 1 run on the Crenshaw solo shot in the third. Here's Stefania Abrascato. Big cut in front of a changeup. Abrascato was thinking about tying the game. She does have 2 home runs this year, more of a gap power hitter with 10 doubles, tied with Crenshaw for the team lead. One ball and 1 strike. Abrascato down the line, but pulled it foul. And they're shading her slightly to the opposite field in the outfield. Not by a lot, especially the right fielder Pickering now. She's leaving a lot of room in right center, but that would have been a long way to go for Pickering had the ball been on the chalk. Probably would have liked Blackston's chances to score. 1-2. Abrascato hit by the pitch, but she swung and missed. That's strike 3, and the inning is over. Sam Landry gets a strikeout under the most unusual circumstances. Some long faces, some 1,000-yard stares in the third base dugout for Missouri. Down to their final 3 outs when they come to the plate at the bottom of the 7th, but have to get 3 more outs just to keep the deficit at 2 after Cassidy Pickering's 2-out, 2-run 6th inning homer. as Missouri has done in the past, Danielle Blackston is going to stay in the game and play right field after pinch running for Taylor Ebbs. So Blackston takes Abrascato's spot in right. Ella Parker will be the first to hit for Oklahoma, to be followed by Sydney Standers and Ilana Agbayani. Parker has grounded to second and flied to center in her 2 trips, both of those against Missouri starter Marissa McCann. And now she'll deal with Taylor Pinnell. You know, we showed those long faces in the Missouri dugout. The pitch didn't miss by much. In some ways, as you see Blackston there remaining in the game in right field, that's a testament to what Missouri has already accomplished from a program standpoint, from a locker room standpoint, by winning yesterday and playing such competitive softball today, regardless of the result. Because when they went to bed on Friday night, they were 0-4 in the SEC. They had been swept by, in theory, one of the other bottom few teams in the league based on expectations coming into conference play. And they were probably wondering what it was going to take to win a single SEC game this year. Now they're disappointed they didn't win the series against Oklahoma, but they still could. But even if they don't, they're feeling disappointed about that, which is a totally different level of expectation than would have been around this team, and a different level of confidence than would have been around them coming into the weekend. Yeah,
and you don't want to talk about moral victories, but I do think this is definitely a mind shift for this team of, yes, we got run ruled by Oklahoma on Friday night. We came back, we beat them. We know we have the pitching that can do it, and we know we have the bats that can do it. Gives them so much confidence going into the rest of the SEC season, knowing that, you know, you're going to face the top teams in the nation, but you can play with them and you can beat them.
From 3-0 to 3-2, payoff pitch now to Ella Parker. And she'll see another. You know, normally we do preface things that way, but I'm happy to say in this context, if I were a Missouri fan, I would talk about moral victories. I mean, this is, no matter what happens, this weekend has been a dramatic victory for Missouri from a moral standpoint, and they got one actual victory out of it to boot.
When I think really the best victory is in the circle for Mizzou. The pitchers have stepped up. I know they got run ruled on Friday night, and like I said, it was a quiet run rule. They gave up some home runs after they had runners in scoring position, but really, you know, the 3 home runs are what did it for them. But in the circle, all the pitchers have been so impressive for Missouri this weekend.
And from an Oklahoma standpoint, ironically, Parker back to the circle. Pinnell makes another good defensive play, one away. The level of competitiveness in this game, in some ways, at least from my perspective, makes yesterday a little less damaging, because yesterday I walked away saying, wow, what a massive upset. How disappointing for Oklahoma to lose to a Missouri team that's likely to be toward the bottom of the SEC. Now I'm wondering, maybe Missouri is finding its footing a little bit and not going to be the SEC bottom quarter team that we would have expected, at least after non-conference.
Well, they've finally gotten some home games under their belt too, right? They went on the road for almost an entire month where they were playing this top-notch competition every single weekend and even during the middle of the week. So being able to come back home, get comfortable, sleep in your own bed, you can see they're just a lot more comfortable and confident out there.
And what you'll hear from one SEC coach after another is every weekend is a battle. Oftentimes you'll play what feels like 3, 4, 5, 6 super regionals in a row. Every weekend on the road is an even bigger battle. Any series you can win on the road. I don't care who you're facing. You know, I mean, at this point, with how tough the SEC is, you could go on the road to Vanderbilt, the non-existent 16th team in SEC softball. You still feel good about getting a sweep.
It's just, it sounds like we say it all the time, and we do, but every single weekend is like a super regional for the SEC teams, and that can be exhausting. And then you go into the SEC tournament where you got to face the same teams. You kind of beat up on each other all year. You got to face the same teams going into the tournament, and then heading into postseason. You're likely to see some SEC teams in your regional or super regional.
Smoked to short, bobbled by Updegrove. Sanders beats it. Will likely go as an Updegrove error because it was in her glove, but Sanders got a lot of that one.
Sanders hit that ball really hard as a freshman.
Patty Gasso is going to use a pinch runner, Tia Malloy, who pinch ran yesterday for Sydney Sanders, does the same in the 7th inning today. Did officially go on the board as a Missouri error. It's only Missouri's second error of the weekend. Oklahoma officially has 3, though Sanders took kind of a hard luck error yesterday. And then there was the catcher's interference that goes in the book as an error, but doesn't really indicate unclean defense because Oklahoma has been anything but unclean defensively. Overall, this has been a really high level of softball, especially games 2 and 3. We've seen really good pitching out of both teams. And game 1, we saw excellent pitching from Sam Landry. It was just more one-sided.
And really great defense from both teams. I think, you know, when we talked to Coach Gasso earlier in the week, she mentioned she wanted her defense to be clean and sharp, and she really wanted her pitchers to rely on them. Landry's had a lot more strikeouts today than she did on Friday night, but very good, clean, sharp defense from both teams.
Jam shot pop-up out of Daly's reach. Be kind of funny if they got on the bus after this game and Patty said, hey, I told you not so many damn strikeouts.
Right? I told you, I want you to use your defense behind you.
Our outfielders get bored out there, Sam.
That's right. Make them move around a little bit.
Molloy on the move, ball fouled off. I don't know if I can get away with a second Bull Durham reference in as many days this weekend, but strikeouts are boring, and beyond that, they're fascist. Or some ground balls, more democratic.
2 great quotes from Bull Durham.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're giving people their money's worth, but it's just, you know, it's a little one-dimensional. Inside. Been really impressed with Agbayani's at-bats this weekend, too. She doesn't have quite the level of raw power that the top half of the lineup does, but she is annoying to face.
She was phenomenal at the plate yesterday. Really the bright spot, minus the home run, obviously, from McEnroe Maneras, but Agbayani has been great at the plate this series.
Love hitters who can take pitches with 2 strikes really quietly the way she has. Back to Pennell. Spun all the way around. For a second, I thought she was going to second base. She didn't really get her front foot all the way around, but she makes the play.
That's where it stays.
Ammerling is going to be the batter after this visit to the circle by Larissa Anderson. Missouri, if you're wondering, will have 6, 7, and 8 scheduled in the bottom of the 7th inning, presumably against Sam Landry. Madison Updegrove, Sophie Smith, and Addie Kohler, the scheduled batters, who between them have played virtually 0 SEC softball. So maybe there's a possibility of a pinch hitter or 2, but there aren't a lot of options on Larissa Anderson's bench. Abby Hay, the Tigers' primary first baseman, who was so good in all SEC last year as a freshman, has battled some struggles this year, especially hitting for average, and has been out this weekend with an undisclosed injury labeled day-to-day. That's the reason for the defensive shuffling, and Updegrove has played great shortstop. Sophie Smith has been good defensively at second base, popped in a nice double today. Good block by Crenshaw to keep Molloy at second base. So you wonder exactly how Larissa Anderson will handle things defensively. Potentially Sophie Smith squeezed out again and back to the bench when Hay is healthy. Ripped down the third baseline, fair ball. Molloy will score. First hit of the weekend for Emmerling, and it's a big one. An RBI double, and Oklahoma extends the lead. It's 4-1. All 3 runs for the Sooners in the last 2 innings have scored with 2 out. First at bat with a runner in scoring position, because the 2-run homer came with a runner at first. Hannah Core will bat. Oklahoma going to another pinch runner, by the way. Maya Bland is in at second for Emmerling. Might as well unload the bench options. And Core will remain in and bat for herself, so that OU can keep her glove in center field in the bottom of this 7th inning. Now with a 3-run lead. third at bat of the series for Core. She is 0 for 2, has a sacrifice. Just low, 2-1.
Pinnell hasn't been able to locate her changeup as well today as she was using it yesterday. When she can throw that in for a strike, it really throws the hitters off.
Sliced into right field, a base hit. In comes Bland to score, an RBI single for Core, and Oklahoma puts up another pair in the 7th to make it 5-1 Sooners. Top-ranked OU getting its revenge after a first loss of the year yesterday.
Runners on and move them over and get some big-time timely hits.
Oklahoma pinch hitter in the number 9 spot is Corey Hicks, who's making her first appearance of the weekend. Freshman out of San Jose, California, who got her first career start against East Texas A&M on Wednesday in that Run Rule Oklahoma victory. She is 0 for 8 with 3 walks on her young collegiate career. She has not struck out, though. Put the ball in play 8 times without a hit. A little unlucky. Ripped into center field, the first collegiate hit for Corey Hicks. And the Sooners dugout goes wild. Right away, so the dugout gets their hands on Hicks for a celebration immediately. That's going to be all for Pinnell. Sierra Harrison is going to come on for Missouri, trying to keep the deficit at 4 with Nellie McEnroe-Marina scheduled to bat, looking for a 4th home run of the weekend series. After 4 scoreless innings yesterday in the start of what became a 3-1 Missouri victory, Sierra Harrison is on with just 1 out left to get Mizzou bats back into the dugout, with the deficit having grown from 2 to 4 in this 7th inning. And Nellie McEnroe-Marinas, the batter for the Sooners, with Hannah Core at second base after her RBI single. And Abigail Dayton, the runner at first, after a pinch hit single by Corey Hicks, the first of her collegiate career. There really is nothing at the collegiate level, the professional level, like watching somebody get a first hit. It is a really special thing.
And then seeing the dugout react to it and how excited they were for her. So it's just fun to watch and see your teammates be excited for everybody.
Those moments of reflection where you think about everything that she has done to get to a place like this, everything all these kids have done, all the work they've put in, everything they've sacrificed, everything their families, their loved ones have given up in supporting them, all the rides to practice, all the weekends spent watching games. One, two. McEnroe-Marina stays alive. She has popped up, homered, and popped up again. That last one was, I don't know, 5, 6 stories up in the air.
It's a tough ball. She has so much power at the plate. You can see she's just such great hand-eye coordination, really extends her bat. Just such a deadly hitter.
2-2. Two on, two out, and the 2-2 pitch. Again, it'll be 6, 7, 8. Updegrove, Smith, and Kohler scheduled for Missouri in the bottom of the 7th inning, though Larissa Anderson has used almost none of her bench in this game. Danielle Blackston pinch ran. That was the extent of it. She's still in, playing right field. Off speed, McEnroe-Marina stays on it. miss by McEnroe Marinas. She goes down on strikes. Harrison does her job out. Oklahoma now up 5-1 over Missouri. The Tigers got the first run, and Julia Crenshaw solo homer in the third. Nellie McEnroe Marinas answered to tie the game, leading off the fourth for OU. And the Sooners have added 2 runs in the sixth, 2 more in the seventh to go up by 4. Maya Dodge will pinch hit for Missouri to start the inning. And it looks like we're going to get a second pinch hitter right behind her in Hayden Sokolowski. Updegrove and Smith were the first 2 scheduled hitters for Mizzou. But Dodge will get her second plate appearance of the series. She walked on 4 pitches off the bench yesterday. Ooh.
Coach Anderson trying to change things up for her offense, seeing if she can get a little bit of spark from a pinch hitter coming off the bench here. Doing whatever she can to see if she can get some offense on the board in this bottom half of the 7th.
By the way, with March Madness in full tilt and what should be a great women's tournament underway across the ESPN networks, I would be remiss if we didn't mention your Oklahoma connection. Outside 2 or over the outside 2 and 2. Your sister, Nikki Hayes Fort, and the Oklahoma women's basketball team got a good win in Norman over FGCU yesterday, and tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock on ESPN against 6-seeded Iowa.
It's going to be a great series for them. It's a little bit, it confuses my college self to have to cheer for my sister, who's at OU now, and they have a great staff and doing a great job with women's basketball. But very confusing for my former college self.
Payoff to Dodge, and she checked her swing and got a piece. Big smile. They've gotten that program going really quickly down in Norman, and obviously work to do, but should be the favorite at least tomorrow to get themselves through to the Sweet 16 in Spokane. Got a tough Spokane region though. They pulled USC as their top seed and UConn as their 2 seed.
I'm not sure any of those 3 teams are happy that they're all going to have to meet up together.
Payoff again to Dodge. To short, Garcia vacuums it in. 1 away.
Garcia's so impressive out there at shortstop. She does not play like a freshman. She's so confident out there. Very smooth.
Landry, a complete game, 1-hit shutout on Friday, albeit in 5 innings, with Oklahoma winning 8-0. Here's Hayden Sokolowski. Oklahoma State transfer takes a strike. Landry has a chance to truly go the distance with 2 more outs today. Just the 1 run on 4 hits. Back to the circle, easy as you like, 2 gone. Landry has neither walked nor hit a batter. She has struck out 9. Should say she did hit 1. She hit Ebbs, and really she hit 2 because she hit Abriscato, but she got the strikeout for it.
Strikeout
as Abriscato swung and missed at the pitch. As good as OU has been, it is worth reminding folks, especially who haven't been watching the Sooners all year, that it hasn't necessarily come easy for them all the time. In fact, this would be the 11th time in their 29 wins, if they get this one, that they've come from behind to win a game. So they've trailed at least at some point in 12 out of their 30 games this year, and only once have they lost the game. It was yesterday.
Well, even though they haven't had a lot of adversity with losing games, having to bounce back and get the win, they have had adversity during the game, having to play from behind.
Oklahoma one strike away from a series victory and restoring order to the Norman universe. One, two. Kohler to the circle. Sam Landry fittingly finishes it. It was Sam Landry's world this weekend. The reigning SEC pitcher of the week gives up just one run over 12 innings in the series, and he locks up a 2-1 series victory for the Sooners.
Sam Landry was so great in the circle Friday and today. Came out, really quieted the Missouri bats, and just did a phenomenal job shutting them down.
Missouri gets the biggest win of the weekend, but Oklahoma still gets its series